So, can I start a Bitcoin mining business with solar panels? Well, that's a good question, and I hear it so many times. I think it's like the second most common question that I hear from our clients, especially from Greece and Cyprus, because many of them have many solar panels. Now, let's see a few data about this whole thing. One thing you need to have is the solar panels, and you need to have enough of them, because every miner consumes around 3,500 watts if it is air-cooled, or around 5,000 if it is hydro-cooling. So depending on the type of miners you want to buy, you need to see how many solar panels you need to have. Then you also need to have batteries, because the batteries are needed for the evenings. They will gather up electricity during the day, and in the evening they will be providing electricity on the miners. The miners, they need to be working 24/7 in order to make a good return of investment. And the last part are the miners, plus the infrastructure around the miners. You need to create a good facility or buy a ready-made container for them and keep them working. So we could say that it's three parts, and depending on the costs of all those parts, you will see what makes more sense to do. In some cases, it makes more sense to just sell electricity to the government or to some other client that wants to buy electricity at a good price. And in some other cases, it makes more sense to do directly Bitcoin mining. So let's see more things around this. Now, on this, you have to see how much electricity you can sell to a company or to the government, and how much it costs for the miners to be operating in some country. So, for example, in US, we can have those miners working for 6 cents of dollar per kilowatt hour. If you're living in Europe and your panels are in Europe, and you can sell to the government for 8 cents of kilowatt per hour electricity, then it would make more sense that you actually start selling to the government and you do a separate investment with Bitcoin mining, and you go to US or to any company such as our company and do hosting and start operating your machines with them at a cheaper electricity price. And if something happens, you can always transfer those machines back to your country. Still, you will have to see if it makes sense, if it makes more sense to transfer them or just sell them there and solve whatever the issue might be, but this would be the standard action. Now, in some other cases, some people started operating those solar panels and the government stopped buying the electricity. So there are many clients in Cyprus or in Greece that have spoken with us that they have faced this issue, that now they don't know where to sell the electricity, or the government has enough electricity and cannot buy any more from them. So what you can do there, you can buy the batteries plus the machines and start operating a small mining facility. Does it make sense on that case? Maybe. You have to put down how much your solar panels cost, how much the battery costs, and the machines, Bitcoin mining machines, will cost, and what will be your return of investment. In this case, that nobody is buying your electricity and you probably have many panels, maybe it makes some sense that you take everything and you start doing Bitcoin mining in your place. Now, I think that you need to separate is doing your personal Bitcoin mining business with doing hosting for other companies or other clients. Because in order for you to start hosting for other companies, you need to have a license, and in many European countries you cannot actually do that. But if you just do investing and bring your own machines in your own facility, most probably it's going to be okay. Even in that case, you need to get a professional advice and see if it is fine with the government that you do Bitcoin mining for your own. In most cases that I know, it's totally fine. So how you actually do this? You need to take, as we said, the batteries, place them somewhere, and then you need to think with the idea of half of the electricity produced by the panels will have to go to the Bitcoin mining machines during the day, and the other half will have to go to the batteries. So they are charged enough so they can actually provide enough electricity to the machines so the machines can keep working on the evening. And at the end, you come down to calculating. You need to calculate how many watts your whole panel facility will be providing for the rest of the operation. So I would advise for every miner, let's say if a miner consumes 3,500 watts, you need at least double the amount of created energy from your panels facility. So you can have half of it going to the machines and half of it to the batteries, so you can keep operating this business constantly. So at the end, does it make sense to do Bitcoin mining with solar panels? It depends. If you already have those panels and you cannot anymore sell to the government or someone else, then it would make sense. You just have to see how much the cost of the extra batteries would be, and then it seems like it would make sense. But still, if you don't have enough time to work with this, it's better to separate those two investments and use an already established Bitcoin mining facility that will operate all the other things around Bitcoin mining. Now, 2025, a thing that has happened is that Bitcoin mining is of course very profitable, but it needs many things around it to make it actually profitable and a good investment. So you need to have AI tools to maximize the profits of the miners. You need to have a strategy when to sell Bitcoin so you can pay the electricity or other costs. So you need to do many other things so you make this business even more profitable. The more we are moving into the future, it becomes a bit more complicated how to run this business and how to make profits out of it, and that is why most companies cannot continue with this. Let's go back to our business plan with the solar panels. What I would do, if I had already solar panels, I would definitely put my own machines there. I would not go and buy used machines, because you can get used machines with small amount of terahash being created and they might be cheaper, but that makes sense only if you had huge amount of electricity and you didn't know what to do with it, because still you need many solar panels to provide for even 3500 watt consumption of one machine. So what I would do is I would definitely use my own solar panels to do my own Bitcoin mining, even with one miner just for fun, but I would really work on it and expand it, because my idea is that anyone that is doing Bitcoin mining and can continue to do Bitcoin mining for the next 10 years at least, he will end up being one of the few people in the world that will be considered the bankers, Bitcoin bankers of the future. If Bitcoin is going to be the money of the future, Bitcoin mining is going to be the banking system of the future. So definitely I would use this opportunity to have my own solars providing electricity to my own facility, and I would consider myself as a banker, and I would be very happy to run all this business, create my own Bitcoins and run my own nodes. So that's all around Bitcoin mining and solar panels. If you want more details about it, feel free to write a comment or to message us, and one of our team members will reply to you. You can even message me, and I would be happy to get more deep into the numbers and seeing if it makes sense in the place, in the location that you are, to have your own solar panels and all this. I just love to do those kind of accounting things. So feel free to message us, and we will be happy to reply to you and help you. Ciao!